So you know a little bit about crypto and NFTs, but you want to learn a bit more. You might have opened up your first wallet or bought your first bit of crypto or even your first NFT, but you're still feeling a little bit lost in terms of where this cycle is going. Are we going to the moon or not? Here are my top 5 must follow Twitter accounts that will teach you everything you need to know. So firstly, if you don't already follow us on Twitter at Player One Podcast, please make sure you do. Me personally, my background's in ASX micro cap investing. So I'm really biased towards technical analysis, technical indicators, money flows, and macroeconomics. I like to look at the whole picture. So I'm going to have somewhat of a biased view, but with this top 5 list, I'm going to try and make it as broad as possible so everybody gets a very broad understanding of this space because there's a lot involved. So first up on the list is Raoul Pal. Raoul Pal is the founder and CEO of globalmacroinvestor.com, realvision.com, and his newfound company, hedge fund company called Exponential Age Asset Management Group, which is only available to institutional investors currently. Raoul has a crazy good view on macroeconomics. So he looks at the very broad picture in terms of DeFi as a whole. He's probably my favorite DeFi person, which is decentralized finance. So everything about the way this new monetary system in crypto will work and how everybody's going to integrate from the current central banking system over to DeFi. He does some really, really good work in terms of explaining this. He's one of the guys that I listen to the most because he does a lot of interviews. He does on CNBC and plus a lot of podcast interviews. He gets a lot of good guys to come on to his podcast, and he does a lot of features on other people's, which you can see here. If you're looking to get a broader understanding of where we're going in the future in terms of our new monetary system, I'm definitely biased towards macroeconomics. I think it tells such a large picture of where the world's actually heading and why things are happening. Like a lot of people talk about this current bull run in crypto and NFTs, and they don't even understand that they're in a bull market or what a bull market is. Or even if we're going parabolic, like how does hyperinflation happen? And why do we have inflation? And why do we have stimulus checks? And what do people spend their stimulus checks on? And like, how does A plus B equal C? You know what I mean? Like C is this massive gains that everyone thinks is guaranteed, but that A and B is so important. And guys like Raoul Pal are so good at explaining macroeconomics from the Federal Reserve, quantitative easing, stimulus checks, all sorts. And he's very, very bullish on this whole DeFi world and a decentralized financial system. Like the guy's pretty much a hedge fund manager. You know what I mean? Like he's comes from a centralized world where he manages assets and crazy amount of money. And for him, someone like him to be so bullish on this space over the long term, this guy's definitely not a short-term trader. Raoul Pal is definitely the man to listen to. Number 2 on the list is Willy Woo, or Woonomic at his Twitter handle. Willy Woo is an absolute OG. He's been around since all 3 parabolic bull runs, since 2014, 2017, and now the 2021. I only got him to this year, but I'm really glad that I did because he does a lot of macro charting and makes some fractals basing the 2017 runs, the current run that we're having now. Plus he goes through supply shortages, inflation leading into hyperinflation, and a lot of broader picture money flow cycles, which is really what I'm interested in. I want to see where the money's coming from. Because if you think about a bull run and we're all going to the moon and the money's going to keep going up, you have to think about where that money's coming from. Is it going to be us as retail investors that are joining, or are we going to see these large institutions start, creating new ETFs for higher class clients with a lot more cash? Is the money coming from there? Like, where's it coming from? But guys like Willy Woo that have been here since the start, these are the guys I want to hear from because they're the ones that don't get so caught up on all this hopium where everyone's saying it's going to the moon, it's going up forever or whatever. And the opposite, like when it dips a bit or when we get a market correction. Number 3 on this list, Route to FI or Route to Financial Independence. Man, this guy I only started following the last few months, but this is where I'm getting 90% of my information when it comes to yield farming, staking rewards, DeFi, different platforms, and how to bridge different platforms. Because that stuff, it gets really confusing. And to be honest, that confuses me a lot. Like you got to be able to bridge one currency to another platform using one wallet and then staking, in a temporary yield farm on one pool and then timing it out so you can take it right. Plus he does it with leverage as well. He explains that in a few threads that he's got on here. Plus he has his own newsletter where he goes into finer details of these DeFi protocols, how he does his strategies for staking, and his road to inevitably passive income, financial independence. Honestly, you really need to spend your time with this channel and go through his threads. And he posts a lot of articles as well. Go through them all and honestly just try one at least one of the protocols. Personally, I got into Elrond Gold and Maya. So I stake my Elrond Gold and my MEX tokens on the Maya exchange. He's actually made a few posts about this as well. And I didn't know that I'd done something good or not. I just did it because it seemed like a good thing to do. And I'd previously bought it in the past. He actually did a thread talking about Elrond Gold and MEX. So I was pretty stoked about that. I don't know his name, but Route to Financial Independence is definitely the go-to channel I've seen anywhere in terms of staking and farming. He gets some crazy APY or APR, depending on what you call it. You can call it APY, which is annual appreciation yield, or annual percentage rewards for APR, meaning the same thing. It's basically like the interest you earn per year for staking any of your coins, like giving your money a loan to the bank. But if you're looking to earn passive income, this is definitely the way to go. Look into some of these guys' threads or even follow his newsletter. This is definitely something I'm going to be looking at when I'm cashing out of the market. When I see that we're no longer in a bull run, I'll definitely be looking at staking some coins and earning your interest in the long run. Like if you're going to be waiting, I don't want to fully cash out. I'm definitely going to cash out a lot. But if I'm going to leave some on the table with some coins that I'm planning to hold in the long run, that I've got at a really good price, I'm definitely going to be staking them this whole bear run if we really do get a massive 3-year bear market again. Definitely look at this channel. Number 4, TechDev, TechDev_52. Don't know his name either. I actually just started following him a couple of months ago. He's got some pretty crazy projections when it comes to fractals. Fractals are a technical analysis term where you grab like a screenshot of one part of a bull run. So from here, he's using 1970 gold fractal. So you'll just take a little clip of it. So from the dates, you'll take that out and you stick it onto another chart that is looking like it's copying in the same way. So you can see here this 1970 bull run that they had, which is before they came off the gold standard, I believe. So he's put it in here and it looks very similar. So if it was to play out, this is like a projection. This is one indicator you can use. And it looks like the bull run will finish up around here at around this time. I wouldn't rely solely on fractals. There's a lot of other things that a lot of indicators you have to take into account as well, especially like the timing, what's going on, the macroeconomics. Like if you look around the world, what's happening with this crisis. And he also posts not just fractals, but he's a fib trader, which is a Fibonacci sequence. Fibonacci sequence, I don't have enough time to go into this, but it's another indicator that technical analysis like to use. And if you've seen any movies or if you've seen any geometry, if you know anything about that, it's basically like an infinite fractal of itself. And this is explained in maths called the Fibonacci sequence. For some crazy reason, a lot of even nature, when plants grow, they respect the Fibonacci sequence. I don't fully understand it, but he points out how the 2013, 2017, and potentially the 2021 bull run are all respecting the Fibonacci sequence. I'll let you go into that yourself. That's pretty complex. So here's another good example of what a fractal looks like. So here he's matched in the 2017 bull run for Bitcoin, the 2021 current bull run, and a 1970s gold fractal here. And you can put them over the top of each other and you can see some comparisons that have been made, and also some slight deviations from trends. So that fractals aren't perfect by any means. And you really have to take into account not just the chart, but the climate, like the global climate of what's going on, which is definitely the case with the 1970s gold fractal before we went off the gold standard in 1977, I believe. And the 27 Bitcoin parabolic Bitcoin run. It's very obviously, it's sort of why everybody's involved in the first place. Everybody's heard about what's happened in 2017, and we're really hoping it's going to copy it to the exact T because it's happened before. And, this could be the 3rd or 4th time if you include 2011. So obviously everyone's very excited because they've heard about what's happened in 2017. And they think the exact same thing is going to happen right now in 2021, where we're just going to go straight up. We're all going to be rich, possibly. it's a good possibility, and there's some good data that shows that it's not just a random guess. But not many people have heard about lengthening cycles and diminishing returns. And this chart, if you can read a chart, is exactly what it means. By you get a lengthening cycle, so you get the 2013 to 2017, same time period, you can say it's extended, plus the returns. If you can see this angle, so this is like a straight up angle, so the returns percentagely are huge. And now we have a smaller percentage rise here. So you have a lengthening cycle and a diminishing return, so less returns. And this is something that Tech Dev gets into and he talks about a lot. And he explains, even with the fractals, where this cycle could leave, even if it was extended. And lastly, number 5, Kaleo, or CryptoKaleo. He's one of the first guys I started following on crypto Twitter last year sometime. And he's got some crazy good analytics. I don't know how he gets it, but if you've seen any of his personal trades, it's absolutely insane. He's also a fractal trader. He posts some pretty crazy fractals that he's bang on with, like 90% of the time. It's absolutely disgusting how good this guy is. Plus he's really into NFTs as well. So he minted his own NFT collection called Wonky Stonks, which is available on OpenSea. He owns like 20% of the market of the Wonky Stonks as well. I think the floor price is coming on 1 ETH, which is pretty good. And yeah, I like this guy. If you're a technical analysis trader and you're looking at stocks, especially because this guy trades Tesla and all sorts, this is definitely one of the guys you want to be following. He's crazy. He doesn't say much, but what he does say, I really do pay attention to it. So if you see here, he's got a Tesla fractal that he's put in. He's put a few of these in. He started this off like early October. He was calling all sorts of bull runs. He's called the same thing with the NASDAQ and the Dow Jones. He reckons we're going to crazy numbers. And look, I don't know, a fractal can't be completely reliant on. Things change all the time. Nothing's guaranteed. But this guy's calls have been absolutely insane. And not only that, he backs it up. Like he does it in real time as well. He does live puts and calls. I don't understand that. That's options trading for stocks, which is something that I can't be bothered going into. And honestly, is insanely risky, insanely risky. But if you've got balls of steel and you've got money to blow, I wouldn't mind following this guy's calls. Pretty insane. So those are my top 5 must follows on Twitter. Again, I am very biased towards macroeconomics and technical analysis. I think it's absolutely paramount to know, and Twitter is definitely my favorite source of information for that, because it's very timely. You're going to get real-time information as it's coming out, especially when it comes to price movements, which I know most people are probably wanting to see. That stuff you need to know as quick as you can. And honestly, if you're investing in this space and you cannot read a chart, or you don't understand any technical analysis, you are sorely mistaken. Technical analysis and chart reading does not lie. Price action and money flow does not lie. You can hear from anyone you want that it's going to the moon, it's going up. But if the chart says otherwise, or if the chart's telling you to sell, you must sell. You must listen to the chart. And that's why I prefer Twitter, because there's a lot of good charters here that will show you their time frames and what they're seeing in real time. I can see it right as soon as they post it. And it's very quick to take a screenshot of a chart and just chuck it up on Twitter. That can happen in 30 seconds. With YouTube, you got to film the video and edit it and upload it. It takes a bit of time. I definitely really like YouTube, and I get a lot of information from there. In my next video, I'm going to explain my top 5 YouTube channels to follow and why. This will be more so about crypto news, NFT drops, metaverse technology, and the sort of sit down and research type of videos that you want to get into. Twitter is honestly, it's a wild west. There's a lot of crazy banter going on and a lot of jargon. If you want to learn the language and learn the culture of what NFTs and crypto is all about, Twitter is a must. You cannot not be on crypto Twitter. You have to be there, and you'll learn really quick. And honestly, if you want to learn where you're trying to go and what you're trying to do in this space, then you got to have a look at some of these guys, because they've been through this before. They've seen the 2014 runs, and they were here for the 2017 runs, and they've seen shitcoins pump, and they know the money cycle. They know what happens. They know when to have diamond hands and when to have paper hands. So yeah, Twitter's where it's at. It's my personal favorite, and these are my top 5 favorites. So if you enjoyed this, like it, share it, send it around, and DM me on Instagram, join a private chat. That's where I share some exclusive drops, exclusive follows, exclusive news. I answer all your questions, and I also get your feedback so I can make videos like this, which was actually requested from the DM chat group. So shout out to the P1 network, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.